everyone, welcome to my weekly edition of Show Me How It's Done. My name is Laura Narbonis and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. So I have a very adorable project for you this week. It is one that I was inspired by my friend Martina Auer in Austria to create. She did something very similar, but of course their measurements are all in centimeters and her video was in German. So I pieced together as much as I could. And I love the idea though of using one of the dies from our Citrus Blooms bundle to create a little treat box. So it's kind of hidden in here, but it's really adorable and it's very, very easy to make once you get the hang of it. So to use the dies to the fullest extent here, we are going to grab the Citrus Blooms bundle and use this super large frame die to cut out a piece of designer series paper of your choice. So I went with this cutie, but you can use anything you like. We have lots of different pages to choose from. You can see I laid out all the Mediterranean Blooms sets for you to see. Some are the fronts, some are the backs, of course, and you'd have to kind of pick and choose what you like the best. So if you'd like to follow along with me, you will need the Citrus Blooms die to complete this, but otherwise maybe it's just the incentive you need to look into purchasing that adorable bundle. I just finished doing an all-day retreat with this at the end of June, and we had so much fun creating a ton of cards and projects with this bundle. So make sure to check out my Instagram because I posted a few photos from there. So as I mentioned, if you'd like to follow along, you're going to cut out a piece of designer series paper of your choice using that large die. And then I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'm going to grab my scoreboard and we're going to do a couple score lines on this piece to fold it over. Okay, so I'm going to use my scoreboard because I think it's easier for you guys to see here. So I'm going to line it up with the longest side across the top, the horizontal there. And then I need to put one score mark at 2 1/8. And then my second score mark is going at 3 inches. So it's really hard to see, but I've got one score mark at 2 1/8 and one at 3 inches. And then we're gonna just fold on those lines. So if you've got a bone folder handy, which I did, there we go, then we're gonna want to press those lines down nicely. There we go. So at this moment, should kind of make something like this. Looks like a little napkin holder. There we go. I'm going to move that to the side and we're going to do some work getting the box ready. So for our box base, I did do the scores, but I'm going to go over it with you. We're going to need a piece of cardstock. I chose Night of Navy. It will be 4 inches by 6 1/4. Okay, so 4 by 6 1/4. Now, 2 different ways to score this. So first we're going to line up. So our 4-inch side is across the top. And you're going to score at 3/4 of an inch. And then you're going to score at 3 1/4. So I think I was here. So 3/4 of an inch, 3 1/4. Just like that. Then we're going to turn, so you have your 6 1/4 piece across the top. We're going to go at 3/4 of an inch, 2 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/2. So once again, 3 3/4, 2 3/4, 3 1/2, 5 1/2. Now we get to do a little cutting. So I'm going to get this out of my way. Hopefully that doesn't fall. Okay, I need to do a little bit of cutting. So if it's helpful to you guys, maybe I will just scribble on this a little bit. We're going to basically turn these pieces into little triangle wedges, okay? So we're going to cut down this, cut down this, cut up here, and turn all of these little tabs into little tuckable pieces, okay? So I won't do the other side. I will just leave that visual for you. So you're going to cut up the little lines. If you prefer to score ahead of time or to fold ahead of time, you can. I just find for the sake of this video, it kind of creates a shadow for you and you don't want that, okay? So I've cut up these 4 little lines and then I'm going to make them look like this by just cutting at a diagonal 2 little triangle sections. Same thing with the middle, just cutting at a diagonal. There's no perfect measurement. All you just want is that these do not bump into the panel next to them. There we go. Turn around. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side here. So cut up, 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 up. And then we're just going to make little tabs like so. Lots of little scraps coming off of this. There we go. That's what your box should look like at the moment. Now here's where you're going to grab a bone folder and we're going to do a bunch of folding on these lines, okay? So we're folding inwards all the same way. Just every line gets folded in. So there's my box. Now I need these side pieces. And again, it might have been a little easier to do that in one shot first, but I wanted you guys to be able to see what I was doing. So it's okay. Fold that all in. Fold this all in. Okay, now we're gonna build our box partway. So imagine with me, one of these sections is the top, one is the bottom. At this point, it doesn't matter which one. So whatever you want to start with is fine. We're going to go ahead and take this middle section of tabs and one of the ends and tuck them in to make a base. Okay, this is going to make the base of our box. The middle sections go in. So the easiest way to do that is just flip this over and put some sort of adhesive on the back of each one of your tabs. I'm going to use double-sided tape because then I can take them off one at a time. If you're using glue, then you're only going to put adhesive on 4 of the tabs right now, okay? Because otherwise you'll make a sticky mess. But I'm going to show you all 4 of these. Eventually, we'll need adhesive. Glue certainly works. A glue dot would work. Those are easy ways to get the same result here. But I like the backing on the tape because then you can see exactly where it needs to go. There we go. Okay, so like I mentioned, I'm going to take the backings off of only 4 of them. All the sections are even at this point, so it doesn't matter whether I'm doing the right or the left. There we go. And then we're going to tuck these two pieces underneath this rectangle. Okay. 1 and 2. Just pressing together with your fingers. And then again, make sure these are inside here. 1 and 2. I'm sorry if it's tricky to see. I know I'm moving. Okay, so let's just take a look here. Inside the box, I have those 4 little panels. 1, 2, 3, 4, all hiding in there. Okay, so that's the bottom of my box. Now, in order to make the lid, I'm going to tuck these last 2 panels under the rectangle there beside. Okay, so take the adhesive off. Unless you're warping the box completely, these should only tuck under certain panels. So we should be okay. Tucking beside, tucking beside. There we go. So that's making the box. You can kind of see, play around with this box. You probably want the top to go over the bottom. Kind of like that. It'll be tricky to open right now. That's what the ribbon is there for in the box itself. So you have to stick a nail under there. All right, let's bring in this guy here again. And we're gonna bring in some ribbon. So I'm just using a little strip of vanilla ribbon. We have some beautiful basic beige stitched ribbon in the catalog that you can also use. So whatever you have on hand is great. But I need this ribbon to go inside my box, like so. And then I will be putting the box itself on top of the ribbon. So the easiest way for me to get that on is with some double-sided tape. If you've got the nice skinny stuff, you can just do one long strip down the middle of your box here. If you've got a thicker ribbon, you can use a thicker tape as well, okay? And then just stick this, so it's kind of in the center. You've got some tail at the top and some at the bottom. Mine is about 12 inches long because I wanted plenty to work with, but you guys could probably go with a little bit less, okay? So just make sure you're kind of bending the box as you go so the ribbon has a nice clean path to follow. And we'll trim this later, but I find it's better to have more ribbon to tie a bow with than less. If I didn't bend my box as I went in each step, my piece would be flat, but then it would be very hard to fold. So hopefully we saw, I can just take this off for you to show you once again. As I was going down each section, as soon as I hit a score mark, I'm going to move and let the ribbon just follow that path. It just went crooked. The nice thing about double-sided tape, it's very easy to bring it up and try again. Okay, just like that. So it should kind of have a fun little shape now. Now you're ready to attach your box inside, okay? Cool. Make that really tight. There we go. Okay, so it's going to be a little tricky for you guys to see, but that's okay. We're going to close our box up like so, making sure we've got the bottom of our box pointing down. It really doesn't matter because we haven't decorated at this point, but just for simplicity's sake, it'll be easier. Okay, so on the bottom of your box, you're going to put some more tape or glue, of course. The glue you'll have to let dry. You won't be able to open and close your box right away. and we're going to put this in the middle of our bottom piece. So you know where this score line is, this guy right down here? You don't want to butt it right up against, but you want the box resting just in front of it so the box has room to move, okay? And then just look down from the top also and make sure it's kind of centered so you're not seeing any box poke out, because if it was up here, I'd see the box. If it's down here, I'd see the box, okay? So just try to center it as much as you can, like that. The bottom's attached. Now we need to put the top in place. The reason you don't do both parts at once is because if you need to shift the box, it's far easier to get one part off. And this is also just our way to make sure the box has space to kind of open and close. Now, because we didn't butt right up to the very end, you don't need to worry about putting any adhesive in the spine here. That will automatically be closed up as soon as you add this piece, which we're going to just kind of look down from the top and make sure we're lining up as much as we can. It might be slightly off by 1 millimeter or so, and that's okay. All right, but in the end, what we should have is something you can open and close like so. You won't be able to open it all the way because the box and your little paper are stopping it, but you'll be able to open it far enough to put some sort of treat inside, okay? So once you're happy with that, you can close it up with a little bit of a bow. Give yourself lots and lots of ribbon to retie that bow, because who knows, you might end up wanting to put something else in the box later. Okay. So I would almost suggest not cutting the ends of your ribbon until you've actually put something in the box. Mine are uneven at this point, but it's easier to cut later. So all I'm going to do is cut that super excess and leave myself lots and lots of space to add details once I filled it. Okay, now for the top of our box. We get to decorate with some pieces from the Mediterranean Blooms set. So as part of the die set, there is this gorgeous little cluster of branches. We're going to put a few dimensionals on the back of that and put it right in the top here. So I'm just putting dimensionals kind of in the center part of this cluster because I have this beautiful white tag that I'm going to use to add a sentiment and to cover these dimensionals that you otherwise could see from the top. So just put them in the center part of this cluster. Don't put any off to the right or the left. And that goes just right across the center here. You can go with the branches facing downward or upward. It's completely up to you. I think the downward for me looked a little nicer. So I've got that, which looks great, but I want to keep going. So I'm going to grab one of my Stylish Shapes circles. This is the third largest and third smallest, I think, because it's a set of 5. And I'm going to stamp a sentiment from Citrus Blooms. You're the best kind of person. That is going to be stamped in Boho Blue. And we're going to go right in the center here. I love my glass mat. It stamps so clearly. These guys, they were available just as a promo for new demonstrators last year at some point, and they were so popular and everyone wanted them that Stampin' Up! Said, okay, give us a little bit and we will get them for you. So they are going to be available as of July 1st, I believe. So they should be available now. And if you need those or anything else, my website's at the bottom. So if you're in Canada, I would love to give you a hand with any ordering. Or if you have questions, please feel free to reach out. I can definitely help you with any of that as well. We're going to pop this centerpiece up on dimensionals. and put it right in the middle of our project. So I thought this project was adorable, but I wanted to add a few more details. So these two little flowers, they can be stamped in Daffodil Delight and cut out with coordinating dies, or the designer series paper that Stampin' Up! Created for this suite. Some of the sheets have, you can see them here, some of the flowers that coordinate with the dies in this set. So that's what I did. I cut two little flowers out with those dies, and I'm going to pop them up on dimensionals just on the top of my tag. So I'm going to start with the largest one. There's 3 sizes that you can have: large, medium, and small. This is the largest one, and I'm just going to pop that over to the left. And then instead of putting the dimensional under this one here, I'm actually going to put it right next to my existing flower, so that when I pop this on, I'm making sure not to have any overlap and lopsided flower looks. Don't go over my letters. There we go. Almost done. Also part of the suite, there are these adorable little opal rounds. So you have a night of navy, a gold, and kind of a clear one. I'm just going to grab a few of those to decorate my tag. So I've got the largest one and one of the small ones down at the bottom, and then the other small one can come right to the top, just up here. There we go. And there is your little box. Super fun. And it's got a nice little pattern to the box itself. It's not a standard rectangle, just by using that silhouette frame from the Citrus Blooms dies. So lots of different dies in this set, lots of potential. Here was the one we used for the background. Here's a nice one that you could use for a frame. I'll give you a sneak peek of a video that I'm going to do. How's that? I don't know when this one's coming out, but I have a card that I used this frame and the detail pieces for. So I will do that as a video as well coming up. That's your only peek. There you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do really appreciate any comments you want to throw on, or even just clicking on that like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do that, because then you will get notified anytime I post something. I post a new video every Tuesday at noon, but every once in a while there's a surprise here or there, and then you can have a little notification for that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to crafting with you again very soon, and let me know if you give this a try. I'd love to see photos. I know you can't post photos on my YouTube comments, but if you go to the Facebook page, Lauren Scraplot, I post this as a link, and you can add your comments in there and show us your variations of this little broad project as well. See you later. Bye.